Good Thursday morning from the office. Good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning. Hey, Lonnie, I hope I got that right. It is Thursday, right?
Yep.
Thank you. Whew, boy, that was close. What if I'd have just jumped out there? What if I'd have just jumped out there and said something and had to reel it back in?
I'd have laughed.
Would you laugh?
Yeah.
Okay, folks, I'm your host, BKP. Welcome this morning. We got a lot going on. We will have George in our 9 o'clock hour. We've had a lot of guests, but George is going to come in. Be in our 9 o'clock hour. Don't forget, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. we will be at Sycamore Crossings, the shops at Sycamore Crossings in downtown Blue Ridge. We'll be doing a 45-minute, 30 to 45-minute medical marijuana segment with Dr. Whaley will be there in the morning with us. So, but what if I'd have said it was Thursday, it was a different day, and I'd had to retract something? That's just not something I do all the time here. But folks, I gotta reel this one in. I want to start at the beginning of the show. And say, I may have missed one here. I know, is it not possible? But as you well know, I'm never wrong, circumstances change. And I've been trying to figure out how to change the circumstances on this to where I'm not wrong. You understand, Lonnie? But I missed something, and it bothers me when I miss something. The escalator. How did Trump announce his presidential campaign? He came down the escalator. Where else? Trump Tower. Where else? New York City. He says tomorrow at 11. We're going to see what is now going to be known as the famous escalator ride. I missed that one, folks. I missed that one. I did not see that one. I thought it would be a nighttime, primetime event, not 11 a.m., primetime event. The band playing, the lights flashing, the curtain comes up. I thought it would happen at the convention. If I missed this one, Lonnie, what else have I missed? I mean, it's a concern. We have to go to the video. We have hours of videotape we have to go through now and see if there's other things that I have possibly missed.
Have fun.
Put somebody on that immediately, Lonnie. You got it, right? Yeah. I mean, starting now, huh? Call the staff in. All right, I'm your host, BKP. It's going to be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Trump is going to come down the escalator with his VP pick. What do you think? Who do you think it'll be? I'm still hedging my bets. It's not any of the names that we're seeing. Now, I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. On this. But I'm hedging my bets. Now, mindless idiots. If you are wondering, folks, just how far is it over? Is it through? We have mindless people driving their cars into trees. We have mindless people walking out in front of traffic. And what else for? To catch a Pokemon. Lonnie, can you do me a big favor? I need a big favor. Can you tell the old guy in the room what the hell is a Pokemon?
Long answer or short answer?
Make it short, Lonnie.
It's a digital monster pet.
Lonnie, do you realize you have 3 right next to you now?
Oh, God.
You do. I have it right here. Catch a Pokemon. I have Pokemon Go right here. I mean, Lonnie, there's 2 right around you as we speak. Right here. Catch a Pokemon. People are walking aimlessly like zombies in subdivisions. They're walking around and aimlessly in the middle of the road.
Hey, you know what? At least they're walking.
Is this getting the accident? You know, I seen they're walking their dog.
Yeah.
Really? Oh my God. Now, here's the thing that I don't think anybody is paying attention to. Do you realize they released the Pokemon Go app right after Bernie Sanders dropped out of the presidential race. But yeah, I mean, is it a coincidence that they had to have something for the mindless college kids to do on campus and through the summer that were chasing Bernie. What are we going to do now, man? Well, let's catch a Pokemon. Yeah, that sounds cool. Bernie's out. Pokemon's in. Holy smokes. Mindless people walking around in traffic, and you're wondering if anybody's going to pay attention. Last night at the ESPN ESPY Awards, Black Lives Matters was the highlight of the night as the names of thugs. I'm going to tell you, I am just not feeling it anymore. People ask me, do you watch the NBA? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Could care less. NFL, half-hearted on Sunday. I mean, I used to be an NFL Sunday ticket guy. I mean, I think I had the NFL Sunday ticket for 12 years. And I didn't miss a game, the Sunday night game, Monday night game, Thursday night game, didn't miss a game. I watched the night LT broke Theismann's leg. Oh, yeah, I was there. I watched every minute of it. I watched the night that Buddy Ryan punched Gilbreth right in the chops, the Oilers. I was watching that games. I mean, your name goes on. Never miss. I'm half-hearted. I canceled the NFL Sunday ticket last year. I will tell you, I think they're in trouble. Hey, I had it 12 years. NFL Sunday ticket I had for 12 years, my wife and I. My wife and I never missed Sunday games. That's another thing. You know, guys, if you marry a woman that knows the officials' calls faster than you do, oh my gosh. And she knows them all right, boy. But we just didn't get into it. We said we're not doing it this year. We've had it. We've had it with them. NFL, half-hearted. Major League Baseball, all the juicing and scandals in Major League Baseball. You know, just not feeling it. The ESPYs Award last night, they stand up there and they read the names of the thugs that died, thugs that not died, and says we have to now, you know, be aware of brown skin all of a sudden. Okay, all right. But the thugs over blue lives is what happened last night. Not one of the 5 slain Dallas policemen their names were read last night at the ESPY Award. Really? Okay. I'm going to give a quick update on the Gilmer Hospital. This is just real quick. We have it on the video, and we'll put that up. Later today. Yesterday at the Gilmer County Commissioner's Workshop, Travis Krause gave a report on the I wouldn't call it a petition. It is a what are they trying? Appeal. Thank you, Lonnie. Thank you. Appeal process to try to save the certificate of need in Gilmer County. There's 365 days and it goes away, the certificate of need, and you can appeal to the state and say, hey, we want this certificate of need. Real quick, no certificate of need, you can't have a hospital. Gilmer Hospital, a hospital in Gilmer County would probably be gone for good because you'd have to apply for a new certificate of need, and those are not easy to come by. But interesting enough, if the name's not out there, it is public now, and it may be public already, but the petition is being, they're petitioning, one of the petitioners is Wellstar. Folks, Wellstar is looking very strongly at Gilmer County. Did you know that, Lonnie? Did you know that?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, like, I didn't know if you had heard it in a meeting.
Not in a meeting, not officially. No.
Okay, well, officially, they have an attorney, a representation, because the question came into play yesterday, was Gilmer, because they have a petition in place where they're going to have a representative as far as an attorney. So that was discussed. Wellstar has their attorneys on this. Wellstar is petitioning, appealing this. So Wellstar, it came out. Wellstar yesterday is appealing what's going on with the hospital. Very interesting in Gilmer County. You heard it here, folks. Wellstar is very interesting in Gilmer County. Oh, sorry, I got to get a drink out of my Amico Transmission Total Car Care Cup Napa here. Nice cold spark this morning. All right, 57-4. What's that mean? I'm going to run through these things real quick because I'm going to do in the second half of this first hour, I'm going to do a little bit of an editorial / what's going on with the N-word case, Mark Tomlinson, what happened with these checks, what are people not aware of? They're just hearing JQC and judge and journalists arrested. Why will not a single media group assign somebody, because I know why, to this story from the beginning? Because folks, guess what? You're watching the only person that was there from day one, and that's me. The rest of them will not assign it. I'm going to talk more about that in the second hour. You need to hear it. I want to do it in the second half hour, the second half of this first hour, because I want to give you a chance to tell people we're going to do this. We're going to reveal some things. We have some audio. We're going to try to play for you this morning, but it is going to go online. I picked up a deposition yesterday by the name of Robert Vivian. I have a deposition I've been reading through yesterday. I had Russell Stuckey on this show, and I have dissected a little bit of my interview with him, but I'm the only one that's been there from the beginning, and I know why the other media groups won't touch this for what it really is. That's the second half. Now, 54-7, what is that? Is that a runaway football score? Is that a runaway? Is that Bill Belichick running up the score? No, that is Hillary Clinton spent $57 million compared to Donald Trump's $4 million. And Donald Trump accidentally spent that. It fell out of the back of the plane, okay? He spent $4 million to 57. Hillary has spent $57 million. $57 million on the battleground states and got nothing to show for it. Now, here's the worst part of that comment. Rachel Maddow on MSNBC made that comment. Now, I watch her at 4 a.m., all right? So I get up this morning, I turn on Rachel Maddow at 4 a.m., and she does this story. And I was shocked because she actually says they got nothing for their money. Nothing, no return on investment. $57 million fell flat on their investment, folks. That's it. Now, I'm telling you now, all battleground states, Trump is neck and neck. Trump is leading in Florida, leading in Ohio, tied in Ohio, leading in Pennsylvania. Now, the two, and I don't want to jump the gun on polls because I get a little concerned. The two polls that have me concerned is Colorado and Virginia. I don't see Virginia, Hillary having a 13-point lead. I don't see that right now, but let's wait that one out. But still yet, they are worried. Even the Democrat strategist from the campaign, a consultant from the campaign, I forget the guy that was on Rachel's show. And you know, now Rachel gets all the top DNC people. This wasn't a guy just carrying the luggage. I forget his name, but he says, we have known all along this was going to be a tight race. That's what they're saying. He said, we have known all along. Folks, Donald Trump, Hillary, who? Folks, the only reason that the DNC and Barack Obama, because he's running this show, the only reason Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and them had Bernie in the race is to keep her in the news. I mean, now that she's not indicted by Comey, now that Bernie's out of the race, Morning Joe for 30 minutes this morning, for 30 minutes, I think they said Hillary's name twice. The only thing they could talk about is the possible vice presidential picks. Where is Hillary in the news? Hillary's standing up giving you great speeches, right? These great speeches from where? Was she not in Illinois? Huh. The hotbed of corruption there? Wonder, was she not speaking from the well of the House of the state of Illinois that has no budget? I don't know, I'm just thinking, I thought I'd seen that. I thought I'd seen her speaking in Illinois at the House there yesterday. I don't know. No news at all on this lady. $57 million, she's got nothing. Nothing. Now, it's down to 2 or 3, Pence, Newt, or Christie. Friday at 11 a.m., they're going to come down the escalator. We will see people camped out at the airports with binoculars. We will see people camped out in buildings across the street from Trump Tower with the big long scope. This is going to be watched. Hillary is so angry. People don't give a blank who her VP is. And Trump is stealing everything all week long. I mean, it is awesome when you just don't, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Ginsburg, her brain's gone is what Trump said. Her mind is shot. Her mind's shot. She got to go. Ginsburg has really screwed it up. I mean, she thinks she's helping. She thinks she's helping. She's even got people like New York Times. Trump said something like he was on the cover of New York Times yesterday and they said something about Ginsburg, was wrong or something. Trump couldn't believe that he actually had a positive story on the front cover of New York Times. Ginsburg's totally screwed up with the Supreme Court, folks, because remember Gore, George Bush, it actually was decided by the Supreme Court. That presidency was decided. What happened is you have to validate your elections, okay? You have to validate your elections and certify them, okay? And the certification from Florida, from the Secretary of State, was challenged in the Supreme Court, okay? And the Supreme Court made the decision that the certification was accepted and was valid and true. Oh, okay, much like the transcript. But anyhow, that's another story. But the Supreme Court decided and ruled that the certification of the election from your Secretary of State was valid and accepted Florida's results. That made George W. Bush the winner, okay? So if it was to happen, we've seen it in our lifetime, if it was to happen again, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is out. She would have to recuse herself. You got a major problem. So this lady's toast. Anyhow, we have Trump has the gift that keeps on giving. Hillary has got to be smoking with all this press coverage. There's binoculars everywhere. You got Christie and Pence and Newt Gingrich. Now, Krauthammer said something very big yesterday, and I agree with him all along. Newt can explain away anything. Anything at all, he can explain it away, okay? Right? Explain it away. So that's a positive. You got Christie. Christie's got the chops. Now don't forget, this is the guy that knocked Rubio. I mean, he landed him. He landed body blows on Rubio, finished him off. This is the guy actually responsible for finishing off Marco Rubio, Chris Christie. I mean, he lit him up. Christie has the chops, okay? Christie's the first guy that come out and took Trump heat. And Christie came out and said, I know Donald. I support Donald, okay? And he took a firestorm for Donald Trump. Absolutely. I mean, Christie was attacked like no other. Trump wants loyalty. Trump wants somebody that'll take the fire when it has to happen. Christie's got chops. Oh God, Christie will annihilate Hillary Clinton in the press. Christie will do such a great job campaigning against Hillary Clinton as a prosecutor. But I don't know. I'm not saying I agree that he should pick Christie, but hey, they're both from the Northeast. He calls him Chris. He said, look down, he said, ask Chris. Remember on that debate tour, ask Chris. He calls him Chris. Telling you, Christie wants to be president. He wants to. Christie wants to be president. Christie's young enough to be a successor. Now you remember the last Republican president, not one of the problems, but one of the problems we had with George H. Bush or George W. Bush is George picked Cheney, which I'm going to say is a bad pick or a bad VP, that's to be discussed. But George picked Cheney, and Cheney wasn't a successor, okay? Now, we know Biden's not a successor, but we know why. Because Biden was told from day one, if you take this, you're going to pretend like you want to be president, and you're going to back away from back away. There's nothing to see here. That was the deal with Hillary from day one. But Cheney never did want to be. We knew that from day one, that he was never going to be anything but the vice president, and there was no successor. Christie would be a successor to Trump, and he wants it. My opinion is Christie is begging for it. I could be okay with Chris Christie. In fact, I'm okay. I told you, I'm okay with somebody down here selling donuts and coffee. The butcher. If they run, I'll vote for him other than Hillary Clinton. That being said, Christie. Now Newt. I think the family wants Newt, is what I'm hearing. I'm not okay with Newt. I know, quit booing me, quit booing me, quit booing me. What is Newt, 74? Google that, Lonnie. Is Newt 74 years old? He's something like 74 years old, right? He's an old white guy. 73? Yeah, Newt's 73 years old, folks. Okay? Add 8. What's 73 plus 8, Lonnie?
81.
81. I'm just checking on Lonnie over here. Lonnie's been working hard. Oh my God, I said that on camera. Okay, Newt would be 81 in 2 terms. Can you see him campaign for president? He would have to be looking for his glasses and his teeth. So we know if it's Newt, there's not a succession plan, okay? Trump's a business guy. He believes in succession plans, okay? I'm serious, all right. So Newt, and he's an old white guy. I love Newt. Quit yelling through the camera. I love the guy. I swear to God. Krauthammer's right. He can explain away anybody. But I think he needs to stay the consigliere. I'm just serious. He needs to stay the consigliere of this campaign. He's an old white guy. If you want I don't know. Now, Pence. I'm a little confused on why he's even looking at Pence. And it's not that I don't like Mike Pence. And it's not that I don't think I'll support Pence, okay? I'll support Pence and Trump over Hillary and whatever happens next. But I'm telling you now, I'm a little iffy on why Pence is in there. I'm a little iffy. Because Pence backed away from his religious liberty bill or religious freedom bill, his RIFA bill in Indiana. All right, Angie called up and said, look, I have this thing called Angie's List, and I'm about to leave and take my list elsewhere, and you'll never see my list again. Okay, and he got a firestorm when he signed it. And he came out and he said he's not going to fix anything, and then he backed off and he fixed some things, and one thing after another. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you now, I don't care. I think you should stand up to him. But the largest candidate attack will be against Pence from the LGBT community. I mean, they will come out in full force if Pence's name is on the ballot. I don't know. I'm not telling you Mike would be a bad pick. I don't know. Why is it 11 o'clock tomorrow? It's 11 o'clock tomorrow because maybe by noon tomorrow, Mike Pence has to make a decision in the state of Indiana on whether he's going to be on the governor's, his name's going to be on governor's, the ballot for governor in Indiana by noon tomorrow. Here, folks, I'm going to tell you now, all 3 planes are going to come in. About 10 a.m., all the news cycles and the cameras are going to report all the candidates coming in. They're not going to be watching somebody's going to be watching it, but they're not going to report the one person nobody sees or nobody thinks about. I'm still on an edge. I got a $10 chip out there. I got a couple. I got a $10 chip that the media hype on the 3 may not be the person. I got a $10 chip that we're going to see the cameras, and he's going to make sure the cameras are here, and he's going to come down the escalator, and we're going to see legs. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if we seen legs? A woman. Oh, no. Sidetrack. We're going to see legs. Then we're going to see who Donald's with. I think that's the way he's going to play. Down the escalator. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'll be glued to the TV. Anyhow, folks, that is it. I think all 3 will go. We'll talk about it later. Ginsburg has blown. She has blown the Supreme Court. They're out of the water here. Folks, let's keep something in mind. All right? I want to keep something in mind. Zika virus. Okay? Just put this in the back pocket. Okay? Put this in a back pocket. Zika virus campaign. Okay? Zika virus presidential campaign. Tim Tebow is going to speak at the convention. Okay? Tim Tebow is going to speak at the convention. We're going to see what happens there. CBS, New York Times is out this morning. Polls find emailing weighing on Hillary Clinton now tied with Donald Trump. CBS poll is saying this morning that it's 44-44. It is a tie race. And Donald Trump has spent $4 million to her 57, hasn't even started his campaign. Tebow is going to do a great job. I'm glad to see him headlining the RNC. Way to go, guys, for bringing him in. We'll see tomorrow at 11. Now, right after these messages, I want to do a brief story, an update on journalist goes to jail. We're not going to leave this thing alone. I'll tell you why, because we need to keep it hot for the local community. Because it is the Appalachian Judicial District. It is the people, the citizens of Fannin, Gilmer, and Pickens. It is the people in North Georgia that have the media coming in, swooping in from out of town and leaving town, and they're not leaving with the truth. We're going to keep working on that. Hey, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. If you would like to be on our show, if you'd like to be a sponsor on our show, 706-889-9700, chief@FetcherNews.com. If you'd like to get your advertising on Fetcher News' website or get one of your commercials to play on our show, let us know. Also, if you would like to be a part of FetcherNews.com or FYN TV, FetcherNews.com is looking for reporters, looking for investigative reporters, looking for people that want to cover local, county, city, government, looking for people who want to cover Board of Education, community events, and sports, Team FYN Sports. Don't forget, if you would like to be a part, if you're in the Dawson, Union, Towns, White, Lumpkin, Fannin, Gilmer, Pickens, Murray County, or Cherokee County, North Carolina area, and you would like to cover sports for Team FYN Sports, get in touch with me today, chief@FetcherNews.com. Some of our sponsors this morning, Days Chevrolet, located on 515 in Jasper. Circuit World, promotional code, FetcherNews.com. That's Circuit World. Don't forget, tell them FetcherNews.com. Shops at Sycamore Crossing, located downtown Blue Ridge, will be there in the morning. L&L Beanery. L&L Beanery, your local downtown coffee shop. Stop in there, fresh cup of coffee, free Wi-Fi. Pull up, good morning from the office, watch the show, and drink a fresh cup of coffee. L&L Beanery, downtown Blue Ridge. Salon 84 Hair and Color. Salon 84 Hair and Color, West Church Street in Jasper. Make your appointment today, 706-253-9876. And Clock Tower Gifts and Boutique, also located in Jasper. Lottie, take us a break, and when we return, What's on the audio? Who gave the checks? Why did the judge drop this case? I don't know. We'll be back after these messages. BKP.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Only Pizza Hut delivers 2 medium pizzas any way you want for just $6.99 each. Get any 2 freshly made pizzas with high quality, fresh ingredients and sauce made with California vine ripened tomatoes. Now get your favorite specialty recipes like Meat Lovers, Backyard Barbecue Chicken, or 5-pepper pepperoni. So you never have to compromise with any quality toppings, any crust, any specialty. Anything you want on any 2 medium pizzas, just $6.99 each. Only at Pizza Hut.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
Truck Month is back at your new Days Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a roomy new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200, or get Days max discount on a new Silverado Crew Cab, just $31,900, plus instant easy credit with Days Fast Track Credit Center. But these Truck Month savings won't last long. Get to Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where Chevy cars and trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
The 50-50 sale is back at Schottenkirk Ford. 50 trucks must go in the next 50 hours. Shop over 250 trucks in stock and starting as low as $79.95. And there's several more on the lot just like it. Yes, 50 trucks must go, and not just Fords. We have all the best makes and models. You have 50 hours to cash in on huge savings. Don't miss our 50-50 sales event at Schottenkirk Ford in Jasper. Online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
Introducing Pizza Hut's first $5 flavor menu. Just $5 each when you order 2 or more. Say yes to a medium one-topping pizza. Yes to Wing Street Wings. Yes to new stuffed garlic knots. And much more. It's easy to say yes to our first ever $5 flavor menu. Only at Pizza Hut.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
And we're back. Good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, folks, now Lonnie, cut this segment today and make sure you have it for me online and also so that I can put in my story, okay? This is going to be a segment that you can share, folks, but I want to say something now. The media, let's start right here, the N-word, because this is the origin of all of this starting, the N-word. Superior Court judge in the Appalachian Judicial District, Robert Bradley, says the N-word in court, okay? So I have read from Society of Professional Journalists, AJC, every website you can find. I've read 15 different articles. And I have read some that say they were throwing the word around and this and that, okay? But I've yet to read the first article, not one, outside of ours here at FetcherNews.com, that actually asked the question. Well, the News Observer and the Fannin Sentinel has done some articles, and they did ask some questions, so in fairness to them. But only have I heard, the only thing I've heard so far is here at FetcherNews.com that's really asked some questions. Now, the mainstream media is the mainstream media has four major headlines, or the lamestream or whatever. AJC and a lot of the Society of Professional, a lot of these people, they have four things, okay? JQC, which there's a lot of media and a lot of people in the state of Georgia that are upset about what has taken place at the JQC, dismantling the JQC, the governor putting the JQC back together, Nathan Deal. And here you have the person that's now the head of the reorganized JQC. So that is like, wow, we have caught the big one. If this was a Superior Court judge that had done this in South Georgia or anywhere else, this would not have the media running around it like it is. So Judge Brenda Weaver, that's number one. Number two, they got a judge. They love when they have a judge. Freedom of speech, First Amendment, okay, open records, all the catchwords, okay? So they're going after this, but nobody is looking at anything. Now, Mark Tomlinson's probably number one saving thing is FBI Director Comey, because FBI Director Comey has actually made it very difficult now to prove intent in the whole entire country. Yeah, exactly. Well, this is a case here locally, but the subpoena, which the indictments were intent to. So God knows, you know, all you have to do is say it wasn't my intentions anymore in this country, but there you go. But I have always questioned on the N-word, why Mark Tomlinson at the Fan and Focus stayed so close to this. And here, let me set this up first. The day in court that the N-word was used, Robert Vivian they were wanting to revoke Robert Vivian's bond. Robert Vivian was on bond for arson and theft and so many other things. Robert Vivian is currently serving 9 years in state penitentiary, okay? He is currently serving 9 years. The bond, they were wanting to revoke the bond because allegations were that Vivian was, you know, threatening, had people threatening, that was the allegation, had people threatening to break some of the witnesses' legs. I'm serious, this is what's happening that day in court. This is what you're up against. You got a guy that got 30 years, he's gonna serve the rest on probation, and he's serving 9 in jail now. This is what was going on in the courtroom. So why is this guy so interested in Robert Vivian? and the N-word in Ray Green. Why take such an interest in Robert Vivian's case? See, it's not as much about the N-word, but there's other things in there nobody will talk about. Now, I'm going to set this up because the district attorney, and I'm going to set this up. Folks, I can't play all the audio because the audio has some foul language in it. And I will put the audio on the internet. And I will put a warning on the audio before I put it up. I will put a warning on the audio. I will make sure the warning's out there because, no, we don't want children to hear this, but you will want to hear it because there's a strange attraction to why the publisher of the Fan and Focus stayed so close to Robert Vivian in his case with Ray Green, now resulting in this massive blow up over a Superior Court judge that, you know, had him put in jail, or had him put in jail. I apologize for that because that's you know, that says she did. I don't know if she did. They claim she had him put in jail. Let me get that straight. They claim that. But a couple quick things. Number one, I was there. I rode in Mark Tomlinson's truck with him. Mark Tomlinson met me at L&L Beanery. This is immediately after the story broke, like the next day. I think the next day or day after, I could get the date. He met me at L&L Beanery. We sat out front by the fireplace and talked about the story. He said, I'm going out to talk. I got information from Robert Vivian and Ray Green. I'm going out to talk with them. You want to go? I got in his white pickup. I rode with him all the way out there and back. I met with Robert Vivian and Ray Green. Right? That's right. Yeah, that's right. I'm the only one right there from the start. I met with him, with Mark, right there. I watched a video Robert Vivian wanted me to watch, okay, concerning Michael Early making some statements in a Home Depot. Yeah, that's right. I was there. Then when we got back, the next day, Mark and I are having phone conversations. And because right now, I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know if I'm doing a story. I'm just gathering information because I'm not doing anything until, you know, I'm not putting this up. So at this time, Mark hasn't put it in the paper. I haven't put it up. So then he finds out, he calls Chris Shaw, because Chris Shaw of Fox 5 comes up here because of Mark Tomlinson. Mark Tomlinson called Chris Shaw, okay? Mark Tomlinson brought him up here, told him this is a big story. Mark Tomlinson led Fox 5 around on this story, okay? So we find out that these are things that are going to come out. We find out that Chris Shaw at Fox 5 is going to interview Ray Green, allegedly in Ray, okay? AKA also known as, because we know that because that's a fact. People coming out of the woodwork tell you he introduces himself that way. Man, we find out that Chris Shaw's on his way up to Ed Marger's office, which is at this time representing Mr. Green, and he's going to interview Mr. Ray Green at Ed Marger's office. So we're in Fannin County. Mark calls me, and I said, I want to go down there. And he says, I want to go too. So I said, I'll meet you at the courthouse. So I meet Mark Tomlinson at the courthouse, Fannin County. I see, nobody knows, a lot of people don't know this. Mark Tomlinson gets in my car, rides all the way down there to Pickens. I interview Ray Green. We talk to Chris Shaw. He rides all the way back with me. Oh yeah. Rides with me there and back. I'm here from the beginning, folks, okay? Now, I go down to McKaysville because I hear Michael Early's going to make a statement, okay? So we get back to Fannin County. He says, Chris Shaw's going down there. Michael Early's going to talk. All right. He's ready to talk. Okay. All right. I'm going too. I followed every step. I said, I'm going too. So Mark says, I'll meet you down there. So I followed Mark down to McKaysville. All right. We're waiting for Chris Shaw to get back from Pickens County. He's doing some things in Pickens County. Waiting for him to get to McKaysville at the McKaysville City Police. All right. So we get down to McKaysville City Police. I go in, Mark goes in, and we're standing at the counter. Michael Early's sitting over here. They talk for a minute. And Larry Bennett, at that time, chief of police, okay? Larry Bennett Chief of Police in McKaysville, Michael Early, and Mark Tomlinson go in the back room and shut the door because we're waiting for Chris Shaw. Now, if you've ever been in the McKaysville City Police Department, there's a little counter at the front. Mark Tomlinson, Larry Bennett, and Michael Early go in the back room and shut the door, okay? They leave me out front for 20 minutes. I'm by myself. I'm just standing out there waiting for Chris Shaw. They go in the back. Chris Shaw gets there, they come out. I will say that's 20 minutes. I have no idea what happened behind those closed doors between Mark Thompson, Larry Bennett, and Michael Early. Because see, Michael Early was there to talk. So I wonder what Tomlinson was telling Michael Early and what they were discussing before he was going to talk to Fox 5. So anyhow, he comes out and he doesn't talk. He just tells Fox 5 and myself that he will give us a statement, and I have the statement today. Now, after that, we still haven't published anything, okay? I haven't put anything. Mark has, his paper hasn't come out. He hasn't put anything. And that's when I stand at the courthouse, and I stand there with Mark Tomlinson and Chris Shaw for Fox 5, and I look at both of them and I say, you guys can run with this story if you want. I said to Chris Shaw, I'll never forget, I said to Chris Shaw, and I'm getting somewhere, you're going to want to hear the audio. I said to Chris Shaw, make sure the door's unlocked for George. I said to Chris Shaw, I said, listen, I said, are you going to do a story? And he said, well, I got to get back and, I got to get it to my producer and they're going to have the final shot and, I'm for sure we might do something. And I said, well, I don't see a story. I looked at Mark and I said, are you doing a story? He said, oh yeah, I got plenty to go on. I got plenty to go on. I've got comments from the, I've been talking to the court reporter. I got this, I got plenty to go on. I said, okay. I said, Mark, you don't have a story. I said, you don't have a story. You don't have anything here. You guys need to get more of this before you go with this story. Now, not that it was okay what was said in the courtroom. Let's not gloss over that. So I told both of them there, I said, but when you look in your rear view mirror, that will be me because I'm going to follow this thing very close in case something develops, I'll be there. Well, after that, I get at that time, I'm talking to Robert Vivian. He's calling me. He's calling me all the time. I give him my number, tell him, hey, stay in touch, all right? So at that time, Robert Vivian calls me and he says, hey, he's waiting for us to do stories, pro stories, okay? So he says, hey, I want to buy your lunch. Meet me at 10 Loons. Guess who else he wanted to buy lunch? Mark Tomlinson. So I go up to 10 Loons and I eat lunch with Ray Green and Mr. Vivian. And I listen to everything they have to say. And I hear some things. I don't know, maybe one day I'll have to tell the court what I heard, but not until then. But I heard some things. Now, strangely enough, in this whole entire thing, we have the N-word, all right? We have this N-word, but we have now Tomlinson doesn't give up on this. There's something wrong that Tomlinson does not give up on this. Now, the other thing is there's something wrong here that nobody will come up here and look at of why Tomlinson stayed so strangely close to the Robert Vivian case. Not the N-word case, the Robert Vivian case. See, Robert Vivian and Ray Green were partners just like this. They were together. They were together at Ed Marger's office when I got there to do the interview. Robert Vivian was there. Well, Ray Green and Robert Vivian were there working on that edition when I went in, and he was showing me all the work he had done, and I talked to him. And he played right on the Sawzall. He took a phone and played me a video of Michael Early talking to him in Home Depot. Robert Vivian was there. You see, Robert Vivian was there when we had lunch with Ray Green. Why did Mark Tomlinson, why won't anybody ask these questions? Why did Mark Tomlinson stay so close to Robert Vivian? What was in it for him? or was he just doing a story? Because I didn't see all the stories in his newspaper about Vivian's plea deal. Maybe he wrote it. I didn't see all the stories in his newspaper about Vivian's case. But why so close? Now, Robert Vivian's getting ready to make a plea to the court. He wants to make a plea deal to the court. So this is on a Monday morning in Gilmer County Court before the Honorable Amanda Messier. Okay? Judge Amanda Messier. So the district attorney is going to Robert Vivian's going to accept the plea. His attorney is Ed Marger. Okay? I'm setting this up. Lonnie, please, when I say go, go, but when I say stop, stop, because we're not going to play the words on the air. Okay? So be ready for that. So Robert Vivian, his attorney's Ed Marger from Pickens, and Mark Tomlinson calls the district attorney over the weekend and says, I have new evidence on this case that may get Robert Vivian out of this, may have an alibi. I have new evidence. Now, this is the Monday before. Now, I don't know if he ever wrote the story in his paper about the new evidence. But I will say this. He called the DA trying to muddy the waters on a Saturday morning about Robert Vivian's case, where he was going to plea on a Monday. Now, here's what you're not going to hear before you yell at me. You're not going to hear what Robert Vivian has to say. I'm going to tell you what he said, but you're not going to hear that part. Okay, because the district attorney, which has taken a lot of heat, didn't want anything this is way before this jail thing, okay? So the district attorney didn't want anything to look inappropriate or anything to look wrong. So what she did is a pre-plea interview with Robert Vivian, Ed Marger, J.K. Davenport was in the room, Robert Vivian's wife, the district attorney, Ed Marger's assistant. So anyhow, but she didn't want anything to look inappropriate. So let me play the first part, and then I'll explain to you what happened before we get George in here at 8. Lonnie, turn my audio up. There you go. And play that for me.
Okay, I talked to Ed about this, but for the purpose of everybody being on the same page, so there's not going to be any allegation of us hiding any type of evidence that would be considered Brady. You are aware that I received a telephone call this weekend.
And again, I asked you after me.
Who called?
Mark Thompson called him, and I'll find out all that stuff, and I tell Mark, because I said, don't keep his damn mouth shut. This is my life, not his.
Okay.
It pissed me off very bad.
You asked me originally if I knew who Mark Thompson was. I didn't even recognize the name. But he had been in my office in regard to another case, as you know, earlier on. And he called me. Well, when I got you at Walmart, he had just called me, Mark Thompson, and he was crawfishing, if I ever saw anybody crawfish, telling him he wasn't trying to get involved.
The telephone, and I told you this, the telephone call I received from Mark Thompson on Friday.
It had to be Friday. No, it could have been Thursday.
On Saturday. It was Saturday I received a telephone call from him indicating that he had received an anonymous telephone call from an individual that would have provided you an alibi and took responsibility for being at the location where the incidents occurred that you were pleading guilty.
They don't think nobody. Just don't.
You are going to enter a plea to count 1, count 2, and count 3.
Pay no attention to nobody.
Indictment. Yeah. Come in. Charging that you and Keith Dye, individually parties concerned in the commission of a crime, committed arson in the first degree for the residence belonging to Marty Callahan, burglary in the first degree at the residence belonging to Marty Callahan, and theft by taking the 2006 Jeep Wrangler. Correct? When I spoke with Mr. Marger after the course of events and disclosed to him everything that Mark Thomason had said to me.
He also gave you a name. At first he said it was an anonymous call. Then he told you that it was Mr. Thomas.
When he called, the statement that he originally gave me was that he had received a telephone call earlier that day from a restricted number. That the individual said that he had gone to Marta Callahan's residence with Keith Dye, that they had gone for the purpose of spray painting the house and vandalizing the house, that Keith Dye subsequently went crazy, started taking items. He left, and the next thing that this individual knew was that Keith Dye showed up at his house to hide the Jeep belonging to Marta Callahan, and that this individual had hidden it on his property for approximately 2 weeks. And then he called Keith Dye and told Keith Dye he needed to come get the Jeep, which Keith Dye did. Now, obviously, that was contrary to the evidence that we had, but given the nature of the claims that were being made and the fact that this plea was set for today, I thought that it was incumbent to inform Ed, because he's your defense attorney, as to the fact that I had received the phone call. During the course of the call with Mark Thomason, he referenced the name of Thomas. I don't know if it was first name or last name. He said Thomas. When I inquired of Mark Thomason about the use of that name, because he said this individual had called from a restricted number, he said, oh, well, he had mentioned his name during the course of the conversation. Mark Thomason further continued on telling me what this individual had said, and then said, and he left me a cell phone number for him to call him back.
Why go restricted then if you're going to give him a cell phone number?
Which I found odd. Mark Thomason indicated to me in the course of that conversation on Saturday afternoon that he would provide the telephone number to me late Saturday evening because he was out of town. Told me it'd be 10:30, 11:30 at night before he would be back home to give me the cell phone number that this individual identified as Thomas had given him. I did not hear anything from Mark Thomason on Saturday. Early Sunday afternoon, I sent a text message to Mark Thomason that said, are you going to provide the number that you referenced to me in regards to the Vivian case? He did give me a number at that point in time. I contacted Ed immediately as soon as I had it, gave him the telephone number. I contacted J.K. Davenport with the Sheriff's Department. He was aware of the conversation I had had on Saturday with Mark Thomason. That number came back to
Larry Brown.
Who?
Larry Brown.
I know a Larry Brown, but he wouldn't be involved in this.
That's the number he gave. It's registered to Larry Brown, Curtis Switch Road.
Somebody else's number.
So I will tell you the fact that I'm receiving that communication on the eve of us getting ready to take a plea obviously caused me concern as I related to Ed. And I was unsure as the motivation as to why I would have received that phone call. Based on the conversations that I have had with Ed since then, as part of taking the plea, you will factually outline in your own words in the court.
Kill it. Folks, I had to kill it there. I had to kill it there because Robert Vivian is about to call Mark Thomason a liar and ask Mark Thomason to get out of his life, but he does it very colorfully. We will have that on the website. On that audio, you hear the district attorney, B. Allison Sosby. You hear Ed Marger. Ed Marger is Robert Vivian's attorney. You hear Robert Vivian. Robert Vivian says, don't listen to anybody. Don't listen to anybody. You hear that Mark Thomason calls on a Saturday before the Monday with a alibi for Robert Vivian. And you hear the district attorney say she's concerned about the motivation of the phone call, okay? And then who is Thomas? You'll want to listen all the way out because there is a Thomas that is a possibility in this case. So here's the thing. I have the audio. I just played it for you. Mark Thomason calls the district attorney on Saturday, says, hey, I've got an alibi. Somebody called me with an alibi for Robert Vivian. Robert Vivian's supposed to be pleading out. Well, he claims all of this, and you hear that on the audio. So the district attorney says, hey, listen, I'm going to get with Ed Marger because she plays by the book straight up. You can say what you want, but this is a couple months ago, so this had nothing to do with this case. So she says, hey, I'm immediately calling Robert Vivian's attorney and saying, hey, you need to know this up front. I'm not going into a plea deal that has something that somebody's trying to muddy the water, somebody's trying to tamper with a case, somebody's trying to tamper with something at the last minute to put a wrench in this. Why? So yeah, it says, Mark Tomlinson says, Vivian's got an alibi and tells the district attorney what it is. So they go in there Monday. She wants to be straight up. What you did not hear that you will hear on the internet, you will hear Robert Vivian calling Mark Tomlinson a liar and asking Mark Tomlinson to stay out of his life, but he does it very colorfully, and I can't. The audio is 50-some minutes long. You don't want to listen to the whole thing. We will put it up. We promise. So who is following this all the way through? Why did Mark Tomlinson stay on the Vivian case? Why has Ray Green appeared again? Who gave the checks? Now, I brought this out with Russell Stuckey in my interview because it's concerning me. I have a copy of the subpoena. How did I get a copy of the subpoena? I got a copy of the subpoena from Russell Stuckey's. I got a copy from Russell Stuckey's client. He put it up on Facebook. I hit right-click save. I don't know how many people did. Account numbers flying everywhere. Okay? Right there. So I don't know what his intent was. But I saved it. So when I asked Mr. Stuckey nicely, I said, you know, where'd you get the account numbers? Now, this is on video. Did Mark Tomlinson have the checks with account numbers unredacted? Because according to the interview with Russell Stuckey, Mark Tomlinson had the checks. See, I don't remember. I'll have to go back, play the tape like an NFL rerun. But I don't remember Mr. Stuckey saying he had them. I don't remember that. I remember him saying Mark had them. And I remember him saying first the county attorney, Doss, and then I'm doing this by memory, then he retracted and said Rita Davis Kirby gave them to Mark. Unredacted checks. Folks, I have open records requests to Rita Kirby Davis. I write them in an email. My title says open records request. My first sentence always when you get it from me is consider this an open records request. I spell out what I want. Thank you. They send me back what it will cost, the time it'll take, or if it's no cost, because sometimes it's a piece of paper. You go in and you get a piece of paper, it's okay. They don't have to do that. But if they're going to spend time, they're well within their rights by the law to charge you, or for certain documents they can charge you. But they have to redact them. So the account numbers being on a subpoena, who gave those checks? Did Rita Davis Kirby give those checks to Mark Tomlinson? Did Lynn Doss give those checks to Mark Tomlinson? Did Rita Kirby Davis give those checks to Lynn Doss? We're not going to leave us alone. You heard the audio this morning. I have this right here on Robert Vivian. I was there all along, folks. Something doesn't add up. And I wonder if Ray Green would have got the $1 million that he claimed he was going to sue for, that they sent a letter to Fannin County, Bill Simons, and said they were going to ask for $1 million. I wonder if he was going to be generous with that and help any of his friends. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We're going to stay on this. I've got some more stuff. The audio will be up. I'm working on some other things with this story. I'm bringing George in here. I'm running a couple minutes late. Hey, it's time for the, what is it? It's time for the VP sweepstakes, right? The only thing that's missing on Donald Trump's VP announcement is letting Ed McMahon say it. Before we go to commercial here and I get George in, Schottenkirk Ford, go check out Schottenkirk Ford, located on the southbound side in Jasper there, plenty of Ford cars and trucks to pick from. That's Schottenkirk Ford. Messrs Orchards, go check out Messrs Orchards down 515 on the left-hand side. North Georgia Diamond's located in the East LJ Walmart Shopping Center. Promotional code FetchYourNews.com. That's North Georgia Diamond. LJ Fitness, 379 River Street, LJ, 706-636-2348. Now look, folks, I just tell you like this. Don't miss the Scott Farrell Show at 10 o'clock, 10 to 12. This guy has guests. I'll tell you what, I mean, this is a great show, 10 to 12, Monday through Friday, right here, the Scott Farrell Show. I'll be back after these brief messages with George, and we'll get into some issues of the day. Maybe we'll talk about the VP. You never know. I'll be back.